We're on. So, happy Hangout Day, Chapter 17, Contract Verbs. We do want to cover a few items um, of importance right at the beginning. Contract verbs are verbs you're going to see all the time, and there's multiple ways. Mounts almost builds in a redundancy for learning these verbs. He wants you to know rules around how they contract, which stem vowels and connecting vowels, how they do what, when do they do that. He also wants you to learn very clearly the vocabulary, and the vocabulary is going to help you because if you know that the word is agapao, then you've already got that's an alpha stem before you even attempt to reverse engineer the contract. So it will help you identify things. And then mounts is even giving you a paradigm that if you choose, you could memorize. That will help you also build through how each stem vowel functions in the contract. What you need to do is, a couple people have asked throughout this week whether it's important that we learn the rules the way that they are. It is important, and I'll tell you because contracting is going to be something that verbs do quite often. And they're going to contract in different forms, in different ways, and it's always going to be applicable for you to understand, because these contractions are universal, for you to understand the nature of how these letters contract with each other. So I do highly recommend that you learn these rules. I would recommend you learn the rules over learning the paradigm. So the rules are going to be important. They're going to become important as you get to the subjunctive. As you get to other forms, you're going to see that the contract verbs the contraction rules are important. The other thing that I wanted to make note is that in 17.7 on page 143, the very first sentence there says there will almost always be a circumflex over the contracted vowel in the present indicative. This is a really helpful identification that something weird has gone on. When you see a circumflex right over top of where something would contract, where a stem vowel, connecting vowel would be, that lets you know that more than likely this is a contract vowel. However, you need to be careful with that because I think chapter 20, you're going to learn about liquid verbs in the future. And liquid verbs in the future tense have a circumflex, and you need to be careful that you don't confuse those with a present tense contract. So you'll learn more about that when we get to chapter 20. But for now, just know that when you see a circumflex there at the end of the word, there's a really good chance that that's a contract vowel or contract verb and something weird is going on. It's easy when words like agapao or poieo or plerao are given to know what those letters are. But the reason I say learn the rules is because what happens when you come across a verb that you've never seen in your life? You don't know the lexical form. You don't know what the stem vowel is. You're going to be able to reverse engineer that pretty well based on the rules that you've learned and how it functions. So, it will help you. It'll help you identify even contract verbs that you do not currently know. You'll be able to back up and find its lexical form. And in the end, you need to understand that that is actually really important in Greek. It's really important actually in any of the languages that you do, both Hebrew and Greek. The reason is that if you can get into the Greek text and run across words that you don't know, but recognize the morphology and what's happening to them, you can engineer the lexical form, and that lexical form will allow you then to go into the dictionary and look up the word appropriately and get the right word for the text. So that's quite important to those who look forward to studying the text as you move forward. This isn't just about the vocabulary that you know. So, with that being said, the most important things for you this week is to know these rules, because all of your grammar, literally every aspect of your grammar, is parsing contract vowels. So you're going to need to know the contract vowels, what's happening, and how it's doing. You're not going to have to give that information, but you're going to have to be able to recognize it when it comes to parsing. So and then your vocabulary, of course, is all of your vocabulary from the very beginning until now for you to know. So with that introduction, there's one thing I also want to clarify at the intro here. As we talked last week, we discussed a little bit about the different methods. Dr. Briones has discussed memorizing your verbs with every verbal form at the bottom. Yet Mounts kind of leads you to, you know what, no, I want you to learn how to engineer the verbs. I want you to learn piece by piece, and those will make sense as you get down the road. I've talked with Dr. Briones. If he wants you to choose the best style that is going to work for you. He does not want you to stress over something that he suggested in class or something like that. He's not going to try and trick you on a quiz or an exam. You're not going to get caught later. I think he wanted to make a point that from a linguistic friend of his says that there's a better grasp, and I wouldn't argue with this, better grasp if you can memorize each form. You're going to be quicker at identifying those forms and moving on, rather than sitting there trying to engineer while you're reading the words. So I personally learned how to engineer the words in all of those forms. As I learned, came to me a little bit easier as I became familiar. I did not memorize them up front, but if it works for you to memorize them up front, feel free to do so. That, I think, is what Dr. Briones said he did, and he likes, but I just want to make sure that that you guys know that there's no deficit going either way. It's whatever form, whatever way works best for you, that's going to help you retain the information. So keep that in mind. I think that's all of my housekeeping. So let's move on to what you guys want to talk about in aspects of the chapter where you need discussion. Or workbook. We can attack the workbook also. Are you guys all comfortable with the verbs? It's not difficult at this point, I don't think. You guys are a lively bunch. Okay, did you do the parsing in the workbook in class?
Part.
Part of it? Okay.
But I don't know how many people wrote it.
You don't know how many people what? I'm sorry.
I don't know how many people wrote, I mean, I've been doing it at the house, so.
Okay. Okay, the other thing that probably needs to be stated quickly about the contract verbs is that you do know that you will never see the lexical form of the verb actually used in the text. The lexical form is just there to help you identify the stem vowel. So agapao just lets you know that the alpha is the stem vowel. But in the text, you won't ever see agapao. You'll see agapo. Because that word is it's a contract word. So that's another important piece to the work. Yes?
No, I don't think they did 17 class. I've been doing it at the house.
Okay. Well, let's work a little bit through some of this, and let's see if we can do this. So let's take number 2. Agaposi. Priscilla, I'm going to lean on you because
Nobody's talking.
well, I don't hear anybody, so I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, it's third person.
Okay, we got third person.
And I'm going to assume that it's present active indicative.
Yes, good call.
because until they say otherwise, that's what we're in.
That's what we are, right?
And just from the vocabulary, it's agapao, and then the inflected meaning, and that's where I have to stop and think it through.
Okay, you didn't give me number. You told me that it was third person. And you told me present active indicative.
Plural, I'm sorry.
Okay, plural. All right.
Because I'm looking at 3P, third person.
Okay.
Okay, so it's third person plural.
Okay.
So it's they. They are beloved. Inflected meaning, they are beloved.
What does agapao mean?
I thought it meant beloved.
That would be a noun.
I love. So they love, they cherish.
They love, they cherish. Yeah, good, good.
Which means, yeah. I'm not up on my vocabulary. I do my vocabulary today and tomorrow, and it sticks more.
Okay. All right. We got Teiro. Teiro's difficult because all of your forms end up with O at the end. So this one you truly do just have to know the vocab to know what the stem vowel is, right?
Mm-hmm. Good. Okay, I'm going to shoot.
It should be Teireo.
Yeah. Okay, so that one, the other way you know the rest of the forms. Again, that's where you have to memorize your vocabulary.
That's where you have to know the vocab.
Not just memorize, not just say.
Right. And
That's where it helps to overpronounce when you are memorizing. Your omicrons never look like Omegas.
No, it's easier for me to spell.
okay.
I was gonna.
Yeah, Sharon.
No, I was gonna say does it helps it kind of like what he was saying overpronounce, like even though it doesn't quite sound the same, just kind of add it in there so you know how to write it down, I guess.
Yeah, for me it helped.
Like for pneuma, you know, I think majority of us like forgot about the epsilon, you know. So I was saying like pneuma, just to try to, even though it don't sound like that. I know it's crazy, but it kind of helps me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, doing it like that for me, it definitely helped in the contract verbs. That my facial expressions even are different when I say them, and that kind of identifies what it is. So, you know, for me, it's like a tereto, you know, and so I do kind of this tereto, and that always let me know there's an epsilon. So if I'm sitting there at my desk and you know silently people are watching me go, okay, yeah, I know that that's an epsilon verb, and then I'd have it different for agapao. Or something like that, I'd have a different motion or a different way. And for me, it was dumb, but it helped me at the beginning grasp what these vowels at the end of these words are. And then eventually, I didn't have to do the dumb thing anymore. I just knew it. But at the beginning, it helped me to have a different way of saying each of those vowels, and kind of being dumb and overdoing it, so that I remembered it.
Okay.
So. Which actually, I mean, I haven't seen tereto in forever, but the only reason I knew that was a epsilon stem vowel is because I remember saying it tereto. So, you know. Okay, number 4. Sharon, you got number 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Plurite
Uh-huh.
is second person plural.
Okay.
Present active indicative
Yes.
from play role. I don't know how to say the ending. Play role, and it means you fulfill.
Okay, what's the stem vowel?
Play role.
You're saying play row, right?
Play role.
Okay, that is the first singular form of this verb, but it is a contract verb, so there has to be a stem vowel in there in the lexical form.
Right. It's play role. Ra-a.
Play ra'o.
I have pi, lambda, Eta, Rho, Omicron, Omega.
Yeah, plerao. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
I'm saying it wrong.
yeah, so an omicron is going to be your stem vowel. Good.
Plero.
Where does the upsilon come from there? I see in this word it's plerute. Plerute.
It comes from the contraction. Let's see. Where's the contraction?
What contraction's happening?
The the Omicron and Epsilon.
Okay, the omicron epsilon makes oo, right?
The
Omicron epsilon.
Omicron and Epsilon.
Good. Good. Perfect. Good. Along with epsilon omicron and omicron omicron, all of those make oo. Perfect. That's those rules.
Oh.
Okay, how about number 5? Matthew, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
Number 5?
Number 5 is they. Sorry.
175.
Yes, Tucson,
Okay.
and that is third person plural,
Okay.
present active and indicative, and the lexical form is zeteo,
Okay.
and that would be they are seeking.
Yeah. Good. Perfect. And what is the stem vowel?
The stem vowel is omega. No,
Yeah, you got it right in lexical form, so I'm going to just let you work on it.
omicron.
There you go. No.
Upsilon.
No.
The concept of stem vowels kind of confuses me, to be honest with you.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad we're having this conversation. Your stem vowel is the vowel that's in your lexical form.
Oh, yeah, I said omega.
It's omega. No, omega is the ending in your lexical form, but it's not the stem vowel. Tell me your lexical form again.
Plerao.
We're on number 5. You
I'm
just
sorry.
did number 5. Yeah.
I'm looking. Sorry, my bad.
Okay, no problem.
Sorry, it's epsilon.
Okay. Yes, epsilon. So where do we get, if there's an epsilon, I don't see any epsilon in the word, in the inflected word on number 5. Where do we get the omicron upsilon?
The omicron upsilon. It comes because that's the vowel that's used to connect ending in.
Okay. So walk me through it. What happened?
So what happened is, since it's third person plural, present active indicative, you had to add that usin suffix.
Right.
And the way that usin, since it begins with an upsilon, the connecting vowel that you use is an omicron. And so you dropped the epsilon and inserted an omicron.
Okay, that's really good, Matthew, that you thought through that. I'm going to correct you, and it's going to be nitpicking, and I'm sorry, it's not on purpose, okay? But let me just say, usin is the ending, right? Omicron,
Right.
upsilon, sigma, iota, nu.
Right.
That's the ending. When you connect that to the stem vowel epsilon, the epsilon and the omicron contract, and they make omicron upsilon.
Right.
That means it's an Omicron, upsilon, sigma, iota, nu. One of the upsilons drops out, and you end up with Omicron, upsilon, sigma, iota, nu. Does that make sense, or did I confuse you?
I know that it's something that like I've memorized it in a like way that's functional for now.
That's
That
fine.
isn't quite right. I see that. And it has to do with those. What you said basically has to do with those vowels combining and lengthening. Is that correct?
It does, and knowing the details that I just told you is not overly important.
Right.
But I will say that at this level in learning Greek, having those details is not a bad thing. Because you're going to, at the end of Greek, you're going to forget more information than you put in your head. So put as much information as you had, and it's okay if you forget those details later. But it's good to have that down. So yeah, the epsilon contracts with the omicron. You end up with that oo there. So that's good.
Cool.
Perfect. Okay, number 6 is kind of a tough one. So I'm gonna let Priscilla do number 6.
Okay. Oh no, I just drew a blank on mine first. Okay. I noticed that the iota subscripts in there, and it's agapa, and I am drawing a blank because I don't remember my verbs. Verb endings. Oh, help.
So do you know the luo paradigm? The luo, lues, lue, luamen,
No,
luete, luusi?
No, I didn't memorize that.
Okay.
I mean, I know the ice, ein,
Okay.
that one I can do.
Okay, well that does fit here.
Yes.
Okay.
But I take a long time to do things.
No problem. We've got time.
Oh. Again. Okay. Ice, I, K, today. Okay. Well, none of them fit because the A, where would the A come from? The A would, now I'm drawing a blank.
No, it's good. This is one of the harder ones to reverse engineer.
Well, I know, the iota subscripts.
Okay.
So can I say it's third person singular?
Okay.
Because of the EI.
The epsilon and iota, right? So what's happening here?
So what's happening is that when the two vowels meet each other, so when you have the when you have the A and the A, when you have the A and the E, they meet each other, AE, right. The A takes over, the E kicks out, and the iota
subscripts. Boom. Yeah. So finish it up. You got third singular.
And so it's third person singular.
Right.
Present active indicative.
Right.
And then it's going to be they love, they cherish.
No, finish that out. Give me the lexical form again.
The lexical form is agapao.
Okay, now give me the inflected meaning.
They love, they cherish.
No, think about it. You said third singular.
Oh, he loves, she loves, it loves.
Right, perfect. He, she, it loves.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. Let me see here. There's some other. Okay, Sharon. Can you do number 8?
Yes.
Okay.
Roy.
Yeah, Playroy.
It is third person singular.
Okay.
Active. Lexical form is play rao. And it is So epsilon iota. Omicron epsilon iota. Okay, I need some help. Hold on. So is it contraction? Blade. So okay, this is where I'm really confused on these contractions. Like,
Okay. Well, let's work it out. That's why we're here. So you need to ask me all of your questions so that we can get this out.
okay. So Blade Roy. So now look at this ending. I think of the definite article. So
Okay. Well, look on page 142 of your book and look at number 6.
the miscellaneous. Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Okay. Essentially, the epsilon doesn't like being squeezed, kind of like the tau, doesn't like being squeezed between a couple of vowels. It gets kind of squeezed right out.
Second and third person.
So when there's an epsilon between two vowels, it kind of just gets pushed out, and the two vowels get married together.
So I have
So
it on epsilon iota. So you just put the okay, push it out.
right, pushes out. Now the thing that'll give this away most of the time, Sharon, just to where you can find some ease, it does look like a masculine plural noun ending, nominative noun ending. But you see that circumflex over the iota?
Yeah, I see it.
That lets you know that something weird is going on, and that's probably a contract verb. Plus, you know your vocab.
Right. So as he fulfills.
He, she, it fulfills. Yes. Perfect. Okay, go ahead.
Before the class, we had, learn the me, et cetera, learn the 5 rules. But this one here shows you that you really need to learn the 8. Because even in the video, he emphasizes that the first 5 are the important, and the next 3 are miscellaneous. But 6 is sort of important.
Well, I mean, I think it's important, but he's right. The first 5 are going to be the ones you always.
But you really need to know that. Don't ignore the next 3.
Right. Don't ignore the last 3 because you're going to see them. The last one is kind of a given. You just know that one.
And 6 is a little sneaky.
6 is sneaky, and 7 is a little bit of what I was talking about earlier. So, yeah. So absolutely. 6 is a sneaky though because that epsilon gets squeezed out just like that, just like the epsilon. Yeah, see the epsilon in the alpha gets squeezed out also. So that epsilon, just when it's between 2, it gets kind of pushed away. Epsilon drops. So that's probably why he says number 6 isn't as important because it's covered in number 5. Or I mean number 4. Because number 4, the epsilon's getting squeezed out between. Gotcha. Get all the details. And that one does change it a little bit. It just elongates. Okay. Yeah, because your playrao and things, if you follow the regular rules, then you would on the third singular, you would have omicron epsilon iota. You would think that omicron epsilon would turn to an omicron upsilon iota because of the contract. but because of that iota, it changes things. It squeezes that epsilon out. Yeah. So number 6 is a pretty important rule. I agree with you. Even though even in the summary, Mounts only gives the big 5. So. Okay, guys, do you want to look at workbook and translations, or do you want to continue being sure you're ready for the quiz? Are you confident in quiz stuff this week? Or are you nervous or what?
Nervous.
Nervous. Do you want to? Are you nervous about parsing or about vocab?
Contraction. Contracting.
Okay, the parsing of the contractions, recognizing it. Okay.
Can we please do number 9? I'm sorry to go away from
Yeah, let's do number 9.
Okay, because I'm sitting here trying to figure this thing out, and this contracting thing is, I don't know why it's not clicking in my head. It's not clicking.
Okay, well, hey, Sharon, really quick, I want you to look at number 9. Do you see a circumflex over number 9 somewhere?
No.
Okay, well, then you might have to expand your thinking that maybe this is not a contract. If you notice, all your other verbs have circumflexes on them, because that's one of the ways that you identify a contract verb in the present. That's one of the ways you identify a contract verb. But number 9 doesn't have that.
Okay. Cool.
Do you have a vocab word that number 9 could?
Yeah, isn't it like demon?
Yeah, that would be man. You're right. Do you remember the lexical form of that word?
Ends with the Omicron new.
Okay, daimonion. Good. So you should be able to parse that noun then.
Okay.
So finish it if you started it.
Okay. It is accusative singular. Okay. I always do this to myself.
Hey,
Accusative
you know
singular.
this. Have confidence. You know this.
It's accusative singular.
Why is it accusative singular?
Am I looking? No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the lexical form. Nope, it's not. I'm so sorry.
Okay, lexical form would be nominative.
It's nominative. It's nominative plural or accusative plural.
Good, good. Nominative or accusative plural. Great. What's the gender?
Oh, I'm sorry. The gender is it's neuter.
Okay. You already gave me the lexical form, so
Yeah.
good. And inflected meaning?
Demon.
Well, that would be.
Demons.
There you go. Good job. Good job.
Like an idiot.
No. Hey, Sharon, just remember that little cheat in the present. Now, that cheat's going to go away when we get into the future and the other verbs, but you're not going to need them as much there. But in the present indicative, remember, if there's that circumflex, you've got to deal with the fact that it could very possibly be a contract verb.
All right.
Or a future liquid, but I'm going to hold that for later. Do you want to try and parse a few more, Sharon?
No, that's all right. I'll figure it out. Let's keep working on it.
Well, hey, listen. My main goal is to have you prepped for this quiz on Wednesday. So if you're not comfortable, I want to make that happen. But I'm willing to go on to translation. I'm willing to whatever is best for you all. Regardless of whether we get there or not, you want to be translating the workbooks. This is the only way you're going to be prepared for your midterm.
Right.
Yeah. There's no reason to get confused, but you guys really want to know the contract verbs this week. Really going to be pressed on them for your grammar section. Okay, well then let's move to translation. Let's go to page 176 and look at number 5. Somebody willing to take this one on?
I'll try it.
All right, go, Sharon.
T de me kaleite kuri kai u poyete a lego.
Okay, that alpha has a rough breathing mark over it, so remember that's ha.
Ha.
Yeah.
Ha lego.
Okay? Let's
So
work through it.
but why?
Good. Where are you getting the word but?
They. He
Okay.
said sometimes the second word could become the first.
Right, and that, do you know what that's called? Do you know the technical term for that?
I don't remember. No.
It's called a postpositive. There's certain words like day, like un, like other
Oh yeah,
words.
I have it right here in my notes.
Yeah, postpositive. Good. Okay, so but why?
But why are you calling me?
Okay, can you parse kalete for me?
I have a second. Okay, I have second plural
Okay.
and present active indicative
Okay.
from kaleo,
Okay.
and it is a contract verb,
Yes.
and it contracts the omega and
There's no omega.
ete. Ete. Okay, the epsilon. Kaleite. Stop. So it would be kappa, alpha, lambda, epsilon, iota, epsilon. So the epsilon is gone.
Well, the epsilon and epsilon contract into the epsilon iota.
Okay.
Yes, the other epsilon.
All right, I see it. I see
Yeah.
it.
There you go.
Okay.
So, Sharon, you did make a good exegetical point. Is that is a plural, a second person plural. You'd be surprised how many times we think that those U's will be singular use. But it's not. You're obviously talking to a group of people, so that's good. So, but why do you call, right? Why
Yes.
are you, why do you call? And then me is me, right?
Yes.
Okay, keep going.
Lord, Lord, and you do not do what I say.
Fantastic.
So to parse, po, poi. Am I saying that right? Poi ete,
Yeah, poiete.
ete, poiete.
Yep.
Second plural again, present, active, indicative, and it does the same thing as kalete.
Kalete.
So
Yeah.
the double epsilon becomes the epsilon iota.
So extra credit if you can tell me what case Curie is in.
You said the case?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a noun. Right? How does that translate? Why do you say to me?
Lord, Lord.
Okay. So what case is Curie in? Have you guys learned this yet? I don't know. Is that,
Going to say
oh,
it's not, but no.
No. Okay. It's in the vocative case. And
Is it in the, what'd you say?
the vocative.
Oh.
The vocative is the case that's used when there's direct calling or direct speech. So why do you say to me, Lord, Lord, like I'm calling your name out to you? And so the vocative is in that case. But Jake says you haven't gotten there yet, so you'll learn that a little bit later.
Okay.
Okay, great. Number 7. Matthew, can you do number 7?
Sorry, I actually have to sign out right now.
Okay, well then sign out, partner.
But good hearing y'all. Have a good one.
Absolutely, you too, buddy. That's what happens when you call on people. Just kidding. All right, Priscilla, you got number 7? Well, that's why we're doing this.
To begin with, I can't tell you what the first one is. The second one is that.
Hey, y'all better chill out.
Oideman?
Oh. I understand that. Why do I understand?
Oi.
Why do I understand this? It's called New York. Okay, so it's first person plural.
Okay.
So if it's first person plural, it's we.
Right.
We understand that we have passed. I always mess up heck. Is it not?
From.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have certain sheet.
Ook would be not.
Okay, ook. Okay.
Ook would be not.
Ooks is not.
Yeah.
And then heck has 3 in the card too. Okay. Again, I just have to keep going back.
Okay.
So we understand that we have passed. Now I literally put in all the words and then go back and try to figure it out, and that's where my problem is, because I know I have to mix them up and I don't know how to
Okay.
mix
Well, you're doing well right now.
So not the Sabbath. Ice is into the
Okay. Where do you see Sabbath? I need to work with you here.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's not Sabbath. Why did I think that was Sabbath?
Well, Sabbath would be Sabbaton.
Right, and that's TH.
Yeah, that's Thonatu.
Oh, death.
Right.
Okay. Into that would be a form of Zoe, so that would be life.
Okay.
Then I'm thinking the next one, Hape. Hati is since.
That, since, or because.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Aga.
Hati clauses are very important clauses.
Yeah, because therefore so. No. Oh, because okay, Hati I only have on the card in my brain is that.
It's that, since, or because.
Okay, so
Yeah.
my vocabulary is weak in that I only, for some of them I only have the first
That's
one,
fine.
not the
That's fine.
last one. But
Yeah,
it-
don't confuse it with Hina, which is different. Hina clauses in
Yeah,
order
no,
that. Yeah.
therefore, that one,
Yeah.
that's, there's this woman Iva that I connect that one with.
Nice. What a, hey, I'm all about crazy mnemonics.
All right. And then, okay. Okay, that was going to be, ooh. That's like a love one again.
Looks like it to me.
Yeah, agapeo. Let's see, I'm getting loved, beloved, etc. But if it's got the men end, it's a verb, so it's to love or to cherish.
Right.
Okay. Go back to the beginning. And my scribble notes. What did I just forget the word? Oh, pretty. I just forgot my order.
Now remember, your word for love in the noun is what?
Agapos. Agape.
Agape. What's your word for beloved as a noun?
Agapos. Okay. Agapos. Agapatos.
Agapetos.
Agapetos.
Yeah.
Okay.
So agapetos is beloved. Agape is love. And then remember that agapo or agapao is to love. Yeah.
And then what triggers it would be the verb ending.
Right.
So, and it would have helped if I wrote down the word for the first one, understand.
Okay, so we understand that we have passed from death into life, and then translate the Hati clause for me.
Okay, well, I have that as since.
Okay,
So
that works.
since, and then it's third person plural, so it's we. Since we loved the brothers. See, that's where I get mixed up.
Well, what I want you to do is I want you to parse agapomen.
Okay.
Agapomen. There you go. For me.
Well, if I just take the last portion and the end, it's
Okay.
third person plural,
Okay.
which is we. It's not we.
You said third person plural.
Third person. Oh,
I know
why don't
third person
keep
plural
it-
is usen.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Okay. Let me have my moment of embarrassment and we will go on.
It's okay.
Because I used to do this with kids on the board. It's etc. And I'm like going brain dead because I grew up learning English. Okay, so if it's third person, then it's they.
It's not. Now, I remember the ending for third person being usen. That looks to me like omen.
Okay, so that's where I have to write it down, and that's where I cheat my sheet. Okay, so it's third person. Okay, stop.
It's all right.
It's plural first person,
There you go.
so it's we.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, since we.
Now, give me the rest of it. Give me the mood because you made another mistake, and it's based on the tense.
Which is present tense.
Good.
Since we love, rather than since we loved.
Right. Loved would be aorist. You haven't learned that yet.
No.
That would be past
Okay.
tense. Right.
So since
So we
love,
are loving. Yeah. Or loving. Yeah.
Okay. See, that's where the other thing is that I don't have, and I'm trying to find a way to really get into understanding how to translate.
Well, your Bibles are going to translate it as since we love.
Okay.
But Mounts likes to know that you know it's present and that it's an ongoing, continuous, and so it's
since we are loving.
since we are loving, yeah, it's a continuous action.
So since we are loving the brothers.
Yes.
Okay.
So it would be we know that we have passed from death into life because we are knowing the brothers,
So
or
this
because we are
one-
loving the brothers.
This one is literally almost word down.
Yeah,
line.
this one follows a pretty straightforward.
Yeah, those I can get. It's when, and I have to pull some out. I don't have to.
Yeah, that you have to flip
where
them
I
all
have
around.
to start moving the stuff around.
Okay, let me ask you, what case is Thana 2 in?
That one is in the genitive masculine singular
Okay, why is it genitive singular?
because it's OU.
I understand, but you didn't translate it as a genitive.
I'm bad on that.
Okay.
So genitive, it has the of because G and of is golf. So
Okay, sounds good.
okay. So
But you translated it right. I'm asking you
I changed. How did I trans?
because you did not translate it as a genitive, even though it is a genitive. Why is it in the genitive?
Because it belongs to. Genitive belongs to, dative is indirect object, and accusative is direct object.
But the only time that they don't follow that rule
Mm-hmm.
is when they're the object of a preposition.
Uh-huh.
And they're telling you what form the preposition is in, right? So you would not translate that as you did not. You did not translate that as a genitive because that wouldn't make sense.
Okay.
We know that we have been passed of death into life. From of death.
Mhm.
But the reason you don't translate it of death is because it's the object of the preposition ek, and ek takes its objects in the genitive.
Okay.
And so you don't translate it as a genitive. You just know.
Because I know what I need to do over the next couple of weeks is get through this
Right.
and then go back to the beginning and review the pieces
Sure.
that I didn't have. Because
Sure.
right now, as I say, I've got the vocabulary down, I've got the paradigms down pretty well, but I don't have the little pieces in between.
Right.
That's probably what's missing there. And again, when the words are all mixed up, I'm like, it
Sure.
takes my brain a long time to process.
Absolutely. So you did really good on that, though. That's a good translation.
Which I didn't
Great.
write down, so I have to go back. Okay.
Well, that one's easy. You can go back and get that one. Sharon, is there anything specific you're wanting to cover? It's you and Priscilla now. Matthew's dropped off. So if you have something that you really want to get this week, let me know.
No, I just need to. I'm gonna try to go back through these contractions again. And I'm gonna read through the homework. I mean the reading another one more time. I think it's just not clicking yet. It
Right.
will.
Okay. All right. You guys want to continue doing any sentences? Do you want to do any of the additional or? Yeah, go ahead.
Sharona, it's Priscilla. You know what works for me is on 143 when he breaks the three words into the different variations. If I look at the definition and then I say, what's the rule? That helps me go backwards and forwards.
Okay. On 17. Oh, on
On 143, I mean, that's what works for me. Is that I'm saying, okay, look at it, says, it's got agapas, and you can also see he gives you the AEIS in the center. But if I just look at the word and I say, well, how did you get to that? And I try to remember the rule, and then I can go backwards and forwards.
I got you. Okay.
That works for me more than just trying to memorize it. I want to take it apart and put it back together. That's just what I have to do.
That's what I want to do. Like I try to separate. I try to like write a little line where the stem is, and then I'm like, okay. And I try to think about the rule. Like,
yeah,
this is the ending. This is that ending to tell me whether it's first, second, or plural, whatever, singular. And then I'm like, okay, I have to remember the rule. So the rule, I don't have the rule down. So that's what's really hurting me.
Yeah, and what the other thing is, it's just A-E-O. So if you start throwing in other vowels, you're going to start to say, oh, well, I see this other vowel over here. Maybe this fits. And you say, no, A-E-O. In other words, pull it down to the basic stuff and then go back and forth. And again, that's just what works for me.
What does she say?
She just says it's just the alpha, the epsilon, and the omicron endings.
Oh, I heard that part. She said something after that. I didn't hear.
Okay. Well, I think her point is that 17.6, the paradigm there, is just a good paradigm to show you the actual letters together and how they get contracted, how they get squished. And that's going to create a paradigm for all of the alpha endings, all of the epsilon endings, and all of the omicron endings. that you'll be able to start sight recognizing. That, hey, oh, I see that. I know what happened there because that's what always happens with an alpha verb.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Cool.
yeah, that'll really work.
Okay.
So I'm here for you. I've got 30 more minutes, or I've got whatever time you want. So,
You want to do vocab?
yeah, you want to do some vocab?
Yeah, you want to do that?
Yeah, let's hit that. Can you do it if I call it out to you, or do I need to write it down?
Yeah, can you write it down? It kind of helps me. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay. All right.
Sure.
Okay, I'm trying to write it big, but that word, can you see that? Can you even read my Greek writing?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, go eat it.
No, that's not.
Sorry, y'all. Oida.
Oida.
Oida. Don't worry about it. It's hungry. Oida. Am I answering this?
Yeah. That's what I'm waiting on. I mean, did you get it?
Yeah, I wrote it down.
Okay. What's the answer? Tell me.
I don't know it, so I'm looking it up.
Well, you just said it.
Yeah, oida.
Right. So you do know it.
Understand it or know it? Oh, to know?
No. Or understand. You're right. So I know or I understand. Oida is a very weird verb, and you're going to learn more about oida later, but it doesn't follow the typical verbal pattern, at least in the first person. What?
I'm laughing at you.
Yeah. All right, let's try this one. And we'll let Priscilla do this one. It says hatan.
I haven't done this week's list.
You haven't done this week's vocab?
No, just pieces of it.
It is in this week's.
Yeah, it's.
Okay. She cheated and said it's whenever.
Yeah. I've got to find.
Oh, whenever.
Whenever.
For me, it was when can you get a hot one at Little Caesars? Whenever.
Whenever.
That's me.
Whatever is the
Whatever.
That's yeah. Oh, it's always dismissive.
The person who used to say it is in the process of placing it into
Well, there you go. I'll do it. When I dismiss people, I say, there you go.
Yeah, so every time he does it to me, I go, wait a minute.
My wife caught on to that.
Yeah.
She's not good.
All right, Sharon. This one belongs to you.
I pick read. Oh, I know this one. I know it. Oh, come on, brain. I repeat.
Apakrite.
Repeat.
I've had this for a while.
Oh, Priscilla, I'm cheating too. I don't remember, but I remember
Because I thought it was.
Is it answered? Did she get answered?
Yes, he,
Thank
she, it answered.
Thank you. You confirmed what my brain said it was. Thank you.
I was thinking like, come on, brain. Let me
Well,
find.
because it looks like answered, and I kept thinking of operator when I saw it. The operator answered.
I just thought it was the weirdest word we've had. I think. Retain.
All right, this one's Priscilla's.
Okay. Hutos?
Oh,
Hutos.
Hutos, yeah.
Great
These
word.
are the.
Oh Lord, that word.
No, it's not that. That would be ektinos.
I didn't say it was that. I said that word.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. Remember, it's this word, not that word.
It's this or the.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, she said. Did she say it?
Yeah, she said this or these.
Look at these. Yeah. Okay.
Who tossed him? It was this guy. That's how I remembered it. Hey, who tossed him? It was me. It's this guy right here. All right.
Did you do your Shoe 3000?
No, I did not.
Let me put you on mute. I'm sorry. I'm talking to my daughter. We're all doing homework.
All right. Well, this one is going to be yours. So when you're done.
I say, I speak.
Okay. Can you say the word?
Oh, laleo.
Laleo. Yes. And you got it. I say or I speak. Good job. How about this? This could be Priscilla's. Can you say it?
It's the Z. Zeteo.
Zeteo, yeah.
Zeteo. It's a fun word. I seek, desire, try to obtain. Okay.
Yep.
And I don't know how I keep thinking like so many things, but I'm going down there.
Oh, wow.
We want to get one thing.
Cruella?
Cruella
DeVille?
Yeah, for some reason, Zeteo.
There you go.
That
I
gets you
seek,
there.
desire.
Well, if that's your train, take it.
Whatever gets you there.
Hey, come on. Who tossed him? This guy.
Listen,
Yeah.
No.
I still have a from yours that
Like Hapu? Yeah.
That one and Echo and Kara and yeah. And the
Definitely remember that one.
operator.
Say what?
I said I definitely remember that Hapu.
Yeah, Hapu. Where can you do it? Yep. Hey, you guys think you're the only ones coming up with crazy mnemonics? No. Nope. We were pretty awesome with it. Okay, let's try this one.
Did you eat your food?
No, I want some more.
Go ahead. You open it?
All right, this one's yours, Sharon.
Mine. Kaleo. I just wrote this down. Calls. Calling.
Yeah, I call, right?
I call. Yeah.
I call. Yep. Which it sounds like it, so you don't really need a mnemonic because Kaleo, it's right there. I call.
I'm a Kaleo you.
Don't do that. How about that one? It's Demon. Daimonion.
You gave it to us.
I did. It was in your. Yeah, it was in your parsing.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Phoenix.
So agapao. That one's easy.
I love cherish.
Yes. What about this one? Okay, can you do this one, Sharon?
Play on
Play on.
or play on. Oh, play. More.
Larger, more. Yep.
Play on. Play some more.
Yeah, I always did it. Play on.
Yeah, play on. Play some more.
Play on. Do more. Larger, more.
Yeah, knock you.
I think that's good for vocab. Anything else you want
Play on.
to play on?
That's on the quiz. I'm getting that right. I won't forget that one.
Play on. Come on, you know you'll get who tossed him.
Whenever, who tossed them?
Who tossed him? This guy.
These. Okay. Thank you.
Perfect. No problem. If you have any questions, concerns, anything, feel free to text me, call me, email me, or Jake. We both exist for you.
Roger that.
Not you as a plural you.
It's second plural.
Yep, second plural. For everyone watching this video, we exist for you. So.
Bye, Patricia. Thank you.
Bye, Sharon.
All right, see ya.
See ya.